I've been dormant for quite some time now. The whispers in my mind of an evil cult brought me to the keep on the Borderlands. As soon as I made my presence known, I was asked to help the common folk. I started by exploring the Kobold caves. It was just as one would expect, filthy, full of traps, and tainted with evil. Defeating them might help the villagers for a few days, but I know my time in the Borderlands is just starting. It's time to wake up. On my second night in the Borderlands, I decided to pay a visit to the Bugbears. They had been ambushing the tradesmen in the valley, stealing the loot and enslaving the merchants. By striking in the middle of the night, I was able to free most of them. Unlike the Kobold caves, the Bugbears had many barred doors with keys protected by jailers. Nothing my mace couldn't take care of. 8 slaves were freed that night. After receiving their ample gratitude, I got rid of the chieftain to ensure this wouldn't happen again. On the 3rd day, we took captive a young gnoll who confessed that many within his pack has grown wary of serving the cult. They spoke of abandoning that wicked path and returning to the lands from which they came. In truth, my first instinct was to grant none of these foul creatures the mercy of life. Yet my patron, Dolmer the Devout, believed the god's will is deeper than a warrior's judgment. When I reached the gnoll cavern, one amongst them beckoned me closer. She pressed into my hands a charm of evil chaos, a token meant to cloak me as a cultist so that I might walk among the outlanders and stir a rebellion against their masters. It was the first time I had spoken with gnolls outside the Clash of Steel. To my surprise, many proved sharp of mind, and their only wish was to return to their homeland, a road denied to me by the path I now walk. When the rebellion had run its course and the chieftain lay defeated, I chose not to raise my hammers against the survivors. Perhaps my patron speaks true. Perhaps even such creatures may yet serve a purpose beneath the gaze of the gods. The Borderlands have grown quieter ever since my arrival, as though the very winds sense that righteous steel now walks these roads. I set aside my hammers for a time, restocking provision, mending armor, and seeing my weapons restored to proper form. While I tended to these tasks, a dwarf approached me, bearing words of a hidden treasury said to lie deep within the caves of chaos. He claimed it was a hoard of merchants' wealth stolen by the cult over many months. I asked him why none had ventured forth to reclaim what was taken. The dwarf lowered his voice, then spoke of many who had tried, yet none had returned from their quest. By his reckoning, only one explanation remained. Some mighty guardian must watch over the plundered treasure, a creature strong enough to strike down all who dared approach it. Guard Sartre summoned me with troubling news. 2 rival orc clans had taken refuge in the nearby caves. I entered the cavern with steel at my side and a prayer upon my lips. Not far within, the tunnel split in 2. Each path led to one of the tribes. I chose the Frost Rager clan first, and they were ready for visitors. After fighting through their warriors, I discovered something unexpected. An elderly orc woman imprisoned by her own people. I took the cursed crest meant to corrupt her before it could claim another soul. With that darkness denied, I turned my step towards the second clan. With the Frost Rager clan defeated, I followed the passage deeper into the caverns towards the Ashtux clan. Only then did I discover the truth of these caves. A hidden passage connected the chambers of both chieftains. Though the clan feud, their leaders had kept a secret passage between them. Perhaps for war, perhaps for darker dealings. With both chiefs now defeated, the strength of the orc is broken. Word reached me of a lair long avoided by adventurers. Even the cult that dwells within fears the beast they seek to control. I was tasked to slay it before it could be turned into a weapon. Yet, doubt follows me into the caves. The creature, by all account, was no willing servant, only a victim of cruel designs. I pressed forward, cutting through the guards until I found a hidden path beyond a still, clear pool. There, I discovered the tombs of fallen adventurers. I offered what rites I could that they might find peace. There was a note by the gate, signed by a tamer named Harold. It warned to keep the beast contained, lest disaster strike again. Whatever awaited deeper within, I knew this would not be a simple hunt. I found the one called Herald and brought an end to his cruelty. Before facing the beast, I took a moment to rest and pray, for what waited beyond the door was no true enemy. When I opened the cage, I hoped to find something worth saving, but the damage had already been done. The creature's spirit was twisted, its pain turned into rage. Whatever it once was, the cult had destroyed. I called upon my gods and granted the beast the only mercy left to give. May its suffering end with my hammers. The keep grows strained. Supplies run thin and caravans no longer arrive. The cause soon became clear. Hobgoblins gathered in the caves with discipline and purpose. Not raiders, but soldiers bearing the mark of chaos. I entered their domain and found an army forming. Stolen supplies were stacked high, enough to starve the keep while they prepare for war. I struck before their plans could take shape. Their captain fell, and with him their order. The horde is scattered, their supplies reclaimed. For now, the keep endures. The time has come to face the cult directly. Whispers spread through the Borderlands of a powerful artifact, one that allowed their ranks to grow at an unnatural pace. Worse still, their magic has twisted death itself. Undead servants now walk their halls, forced to build whatever dark temple rises beneath these caves. This is no longer a hidden threat, it's an invasion. Before pressing forward, I sought out familiar allies, the very soul who once entrusted me with their charms. I asked them to stand with me once more, for what lies ahead I cannot face alone. We pressed deeper into the temple. It was there we crossed paths with the gnolls once more, though something about them felt change. Eula spoke of voices, calling to her, guiding her. I could see the strain in her eyes as we moved forward. Whatever power the cult had uncovered, it was not contained. As we reached a narrow passage, the Medusa chose to remain behind, guarding the only path of escape. A necessary sacrifice should we fail. With no way back but through her, we continued forward, and the deeper we went, the louder the voices became. We reached the heart of the temple, but its master was nowhere to be found. At its center floated a gem pulsing with dark power. Around it stood 3 pedestals, each bearing sockets for the crests I carry. This was no shrine, it was a ritual. After searching the chamber, I uncovered a hidden path. Beyond it, the cult's leader awaited. The battle was swift, their leader fell, and with it, their command. Yet even in death, the voices did not fade. Whatever power lies within that gem, it has not been silenced, and I fear our task is far from over. The voices would not cease. I searched deeper still and came upon the leader's chambers. There, I found the missing codex page, the source of the cult's unnatural growth. Only one path remained, to complete the ritual. I returned to the main chamber and placed the crests upon their pedestals. As the ritual began, my allies were seized, held by an unseen force. The voices rose and demanded I pull the bell. When I struck it, the air tore open. A fiend emerged from the depth of the underworld, surprised to be summoned not by its followers, but by me. We clashed within the heart of the temple, and when it fell, silence followed. At last, the voices were gone. My allies remained trapped within the temple, bound by magic I cannot break alone. Yet with the cult destroyed, I trust the spellcasters of the keep will find a way to free them. For now, I must press on. As I left the cavern, I was met once more with the Medusa. No longer bound by the cult's influence, she revealed her true intent, to claim these lands and bring terror to the very people we fought to protect. I could not allow it. Our battle was swift, and when it ended, the Borderlands stood free of her shadow. At last, my duty here was done, but my journey is far from over. The answers I seek still lie beyond the horizon, and so, I move on.